Greetings, all you Metamaniacs. This is Team Money G representing Operation Metaverse. Today is a monumental day for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. It's a day that, to be honest, I wish never came, but I'm really excited about it now that it has. SWGOH.gg has a section now where you can not only look at the counters that you have used and your opponent has used in Grand Arena, but you can look at anybody's counters in the whole game. Admiral, receiving transmission from SWGOH.gg.
Leave it. Leave it.
Leave it. Don't worry about it, baby. You'll know the counters now. We can look them up.
Transmission received.
Admiral, we have the
Counters.
She did it.
We're going to take a look at what this page looks like. I'm going to show you where to find it. And we're going to go snoop a bunch of rosters to dig out secret counters to share with you that all of the big guilds use in their Grand Arena and Territory Wars. Fair is fair, so let's take a look at my Grand Arena. First, you can see here that it actually only lists the two dates, the 29th and the 22nd, and nothing in the past. We won't get to see that. You don't get to see any back dates, but we do get to see the last two rounds of Grand Arena. So let's look at my 29th Grand Arena, my very final round against Iron Ranger, who didn't fight me. He just kind of, I don't know, saw my score and was like, screw this, or didn't have time. I have no idea. And then it's just showing all of my counters using, Traya versus Karth. That was kind of a cobbled together weird Traya team. Under banning CLS versus Newt, Nightsisters versus the Geonosians, Gas versus the Nightsisters, etc., etc. So it just shows here, it's full disclosure. You can look at literally anybody's Grand Arena in the game now and see what they used. So in the spirit of snooping,
Snoop, 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 snoop.
let's go see what some of the big boys are using in their Grand Arena Championships. The first thing I want to snoop, and I'm not going to show everyone's names, but hey, if you're at the top of the Grand Arena leaderboard, you kind of should be under some scrutiny. So Forsu Arrow, sorry buddy, we're taking a look at your account. He scored 46,299 points in the last Grand Arena Championships. That's a whole 122 points above Oblivion 1 from Maw, and Tyrone from my guild. It's it's more than 100 points over the next few spots. So let's see what this fellow is using in his Grand Arena. I'm expecting some cheesy stuff and maybe some innovative cheese, hopefully some innovative cheese. And we will just take a look and reveal what this fellow is using. First, I'll say that as you can see right here, ships battles and early ending battles, I have no idea what that means, are not reporting due to correct win losses, or are not reporting correct wins and losses currently. So let's take especially the ships battles with a grain of salt. You can see here that it says that he's got a timeout or a loss on the ships battles. So I'm not sure what, if that's correct or not. Who knows? Right here we see Darth Revan versus Nightsisters. That's, that's pretty big. That's a pretty big team to use against Nightsisters. He's gone in short with that team. Pretty much short with all of the teams except for Crew versus Karth, which he's thrown Watt in there with. So I don't know, maybe he has a crappy Crew team or something like that he had to go in with all five there. But lots and lots of short squads, every single one except for Crew. So that's where he's getting a lot of his points. He scored 1946 on round 3, 1941 on round 2, and 1942 on round 1. And they all look very similar to this.
Snoop, 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 snoop.
Okay, guys, I completely wussed out on just picking random rosters from the big guilds and showing them to everyone. So you're just gonna have to do that yourself. It's really easy, but I don't know. I just like people to like me, and I didn't want to like pick on some TI folks, because once I started going through them, there's quite a few innovative counters in here, so I just don't want to out them. Anyway, that's what it is. I'm a wimp. We can see here with this roster, this is one of the big guilds, that it's still showing that loss with ships. Who knows if that's true or not? Let's just ignore ships for now. But look at this. This is a fantastic team and really ballsy, because he has used Emperor Palpatine, Vader, Shore Trooper Thrawn, and very likely a Zeta Imperial probe droid, and almost at full protection for everyone to take out this brutal Padme team. This is Padme with OG Anakin and Grandmaster Yoda and General Kenobi and Snips. You can put a lot of different characters other than Snips in that 5th slot, but this is a really tough team to get through. I'm sure that a lot of folks have fought this team in Arena because it's one of the more common Darth Revan counters at the moment, and it can also do really well against General Skywalker, but good for you, dude, for taking this team out with a Palpatine lead. Super budget counter. Look at that. Thrawn is really the only character that you might have to sacrifice from another team to do that. Going on here, Kylo Ren lead versus bounty hunters. It works pretty much 100% of the time when your First Order officer can go before Bosk. What you do is you just pass turn meter to Fox and try and take that turn meter off of Bosk. That's how I do it anyway. Then everybody has full turn meter stun Bosk, and then, you know, the bounty hunters are selfish creatures. Nobody really has a cleanse to help out Bosk, and poor Bosk just stays stunned the whole time, and you pick off the rest of the team. That's quite squishy when you have what this fellow has in his Gear 13 relict First Order Executioner. See full health on that team. This Grand Arena was over 1915 points, and so pretty solid there.
Snoop, 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 snoop.
This is a player who I have faced before in Territory Wars and just watched them clean up on the other side, one team after the next. I'm very curious what they are using for certain teams, and if there's any innovation happening there, or if they're just kind of budgeting their teams well and their mods well. So some boring stuff here. Treya versus Kira. A loss with CLS versus Newt. That's kind of crazy. Maybe, you know, get better there. But, you know, this is kind of the team for General Grievous these days. It really protects you if Watt is present. Of course, Anakin, you know, if you have Anakin relic first, that is the thing to do. And then Jolee is next on this team. He needs to survive. Usually everybody dies, Jolee revives them. Everybody dies, Jolee revives them. So there you go. That's probably the best counter to General Grievous right now, especially with Watt around. And then, hey, look at this. He has his General Skywalker working versus Darth Revan pretty well. Lost a character. That's 5s, I believe. So, yay. That's enough snooping for today. This tool is, I don't know, I have really mixed feelings about it. It's really neat to be able to see all of the big guilds' counters and what they're using, and to be able to build yours according to their mods and everything. You can look at somebody's Grand Arena teams and counters, and then you can go into their roster and just basically copy what they have. This new function of SWGOH.gg is going to change Grand Arena significantly for 2 types of players. Those who place a mega cheese and those who place a very, very, very strong defense. It's going to be really easy for people to just look at that pattern over time and say, haha, okay, if you place a strong defense that I have no chance of clearing, I'm just gonna place the same in hopes that you screw up on my front wall and can't get through. Conversely, you might face someone who has a history of big time cheese, and so you're going to place a lot more teams on there, knowing that you can clear their board with, you know, single tunes like Wampa and Nest and CLS, and just walk through what they have down there for mega points. So there we might have to adjust our strategies for those types of players. I'm definitely one to set a lot of defense, and might have to kind of move back into a more balanced approach so that people won't know what to expect as much. As far as whether this is a good thing or a bad thing, one thing that it is meant to do is to curb cheating. Now, the way that people cheat in this game is with an APK and kind of nudging statistics. They can still use the teams that they would always use, but they'll just be winning with crappy teams. And you might wonder, how did they win with that crappy team? But it won't be just a very blatant, like, obviously you can't solo Darth Revan with Nest. You know, like, nobody's going to do that. Nobody's going to be so stupid. If they're kind of tapped into this game enough to want to cheat like that, then they're going to know that a function like this exists and that people can look. So I don't think that this function is going to change cheating at all, and I hope CG is not going to use this as a little scapegoat saying, you know, oh, look, everything's fine, you can now see the teams, because they still have to look for these cheaters, they still have to dig them out, and we all still have to be reporting people who we suspect to be cheating, who don't have the mods to beat our teams. We're just going to have to look a little bit more closely and just go with your gut. I've spoken to CG about when to report cheating, and surprisingly they said, just go with your gut. The more reports, the better, because I think they kind of compile them and can see over a long term if someone's being reported repeatedly, then they're going to look into that. Thank you for joining me, and join us again. Go to Maurice and I on Tuesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time when we stream the Galaxy's Edge Operation Metaverse's live stream with all the latest and greatest on Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. We also have an awesome patron community where we do workshops every month and give them exclusive little documents and support for their grand arenas, and focusing generally on PvP content. And join our Discord at discord.io/Operation Metaverse.